You're good. There you go. Flip your screen again, Ian. You went sideways.
Better?
Nope, you're standing sideways again.
Good?
Yep, you're good right there.
See, I look sideways to me.
Your picture's good, though.
Oh, good.
We are live.
Fantastic. What time do we have, Rick?
9 o'clock. I just broadcasted, so give it about a minute and we'll be good to go.
All right, fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 14-day challenge, day 9. Can you believe it? Day 9. You're already here, and we're rocking and rolling and taking headway every single day. We're not waiting for the government to give us something. We're not waiting for direction. We're out there making it happen, scooping up the online real estate and making moves when everybody else is going backwards. We are surging forwards, refusing to participate in any sort of shutdown. They might shut you in, but they don't need to shut you down. You can always be doing something to move yourself and your business forward. And you got to invest in yourself because you got to live with you. Right? I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but you would not believe how many people just refuse to invest in themselves. They refuse to get better. They refuse to listen to an audio, buy a book, jump on something like this. And folks, you got to invest in yourself and you got to invest in your future because sooner or later, you're going to have to live there with you. And so you are your best investment. Hey, just want to give you guys a couple of points real quick. I'm watching a lot of the live videos, going live to change lives, 14 days of lives, and hopefully a lifetime of lives as you begin to build your brand, build your market, and your message. And just a couple of things that I want to help you with here. Number one, again, remember your lighting. And now you can't always have great lighting, so they say, but that's not true. So tomorrow I'm going to bring on a little contraption I have, but I'll describe it to you tonight, that allows you to have great lighting anywhere. It's called a flex ring light. And basically it's a clip with like a little gooseneck ring light on it and a phone clip. And so you could clip it in your car. You could put it just about anywhere you want. It folds up, put it in a backpack. It's really, really simple. That way you always have great lighting, because if you don't have great lighting, people aren't going to watch, okay? Second thing I want you to do is your camera needs to be at eye level or at mouth level. Some of you got your camera like all like this, and you looking like Jabba the Hutt, right? Okay, it's like you're like this giant neck, right? It's like giblet there, like giant neck. Or you're way underneath the camera and you're like looking up at it like you're 2 feet tall. So you want to just make sure that your camera is pointed at your face, right? I know it seems pretty basic, but you would not believe the amount of you I see who have, you're looking down at something and it's all like here and your head looks really small, or it's the opposite and the top of your head looks really big and you're looking up like that. So eye level or mouth level, either one is fine. So today, we talked a little bit about yesterday. We talked a little bit about getting massive on Messenger, and we talked about, the processes, when you should be sending them, how many you should be sending. We talked about creating basically a cultivation message and creating an ask. And so hopefully you've sent those out. You're going to start getting responses, and we prepared you for posture, right? Because when you're dealing with the law of large numbers, okay, and when you're being aggressive out there, okay, the only way to not get criticized is when you're doing nothing and, going nowhere. And then people will still criticize you for doing that, right? So there's really no way to not get criticized. But we just want to posture up, right? We talked a little bit about, if you have people that get a little negative with you or whatnot, that you're just postured. Hey, listen, So sorry, didn't mean to bother you. Have a great day. You know, they say, you're the worst person in the world. Why are you doing it? And they're just going crazy, right? Because hurting people hurt people. We're postured up. We just say, hey, man, listen, I'm so sorry. Have a fantastic day. God bless. Boom. We are unoffendable. We're not getting into it with people. We're not giving people a piece of our mind, right? Because that's too expensive. Not everybody deserves a reaction from you. Not everybody deserves a response. And nobody deserves that you give your power over to them and your control over them, because you lose control in your emotions, right? So today, I'm very, very excited about this topic. I think this is going to be one of the more unique topics that we talk about. And I've got to give you some prerequisites here, okay? Because there's a danger in what I'm going to tell you, right? And the danger is that you'll misinterpret or you'll mishear, and you'll hear what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. Okay, and so I'm going to repeat a couple of things over and over and over. But tonight we're talking about recognizing opportunity. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Okay, and every great trial is the seed of an equivalent or greater opportunity. So in every great trial, there's the seed of an equivalent or greater opportunity. In every setback, in every adversity, there's the seed of opportunity. And so we've got to become pros at recognizing opportunity. At recognizing opportunity. See, most people see problems, okay, but the wealthy, the world class, see opportunity. They also see the problem, but their awareness says, it's like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Okay. Their awareness says where there's trial, there's got to be opportunity. So you see the smoke billowing up in the sky, you know there's a fire somewhere. You can see it. You're just not maybe sure where, but you know it's around there. Okay. It's the same way with opportunity. Okay. Leaders see the smoke of trial, tribulation, and hardship, and they say, there's an opportunity around here somewhere. I just need to find it. Okay. So we're going to talk about recognizing opportunity. Okay. Identifying opportunity. Okay. So recognizing opportunity, creating opportunity, acting on opportunity. And mark my words, this shakeup that we're living in right now is going to create opportunity on an unprecedented scale for people who are paying attention. Okay. And for people who aren't paying attention, it's going to create destruction on an unfathomable scale. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. Okay. So I wrote a couple things here I want to share with you. Anytime there's a substantial and significant change to the way things are, there will always be an open door for the way things will be. Let me say that again. Anytime there's a substantial change to the way things are, there will always be an open door to the way things will be. Okay. Most people are going to long for the way it was. I want to be creating the way it is. Let me say that again. Most people are going to be longing for the way that it was. I want to be creating the way that it is and the way that it will be. I want that to sink into you, because everybody's going to be out there trying to figure out how they get back where they were and what they had. And what most people are completely unaware of is the world has just simply fundamentally changed at this point. There's no going back. Okay. We're not ever going to return to normal as normal was before. How do you know that? Well, let me just give you kind of a little 2 cents and some thinking on the situation that's happening here. Okay. So, we've got this crazy virus. Nobody really knows. There's people say it's the end of the world. There's people say it's no worse than the flu. There's people in the middle. Here's what we do know. Okay. Very few people, relatively speaking, have died, right? Very few people have died in the world as a percentage of population in the United States. And here's the deal, right? So you have this scare, and governments start taking freedom. They start limiting where you can go, what you can do, who can be open, etc. Okay. When they begin to limit freedom, problems begin to happen. Okay. And so here's what happens is whether this thing was going to be a big deal or not, we'll never know. But here's the circular reasoning that will now be in place for all of eternity. Okay. And that circular reasoning is, well, if it ends up not being bad, well, it's because we did all of this. That's why it wasn't bad. We have no way to know whether that's true or not, but that will be the reasoning that will be touted by the people who who like to take and dole out control. Okay. So whatever happens with this, unfortunately, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I hope that I am, I don't think that I am. Unfortunately, this is a dry run for everything in the future, right, that the government and other entities want to control. Is just create enough fear and jump in and save the day. And as long as nothing crazy happens, we can say that that act of saviorism is what caused that. So, you're going to see more stuff like this, unfortunately. You're probably going to see it more often, more frequently, because now people know that it is a suitable, use of control. If you saw in the stimulus bill, what they're trying to do is create like a cryptocurrency for the US dollar. That's going to be a nightmare, right? So the government is not backed by, currency is not backed by gold or anything right now. It's just all promises. And now you want to take potentially the paper promises and put them all online where the government sees every transaction, controls everything. Like that couldn't be a problem. And just how do you know they didn't just make some more of it, right? How do you know that didn't happen? Let me plug in here real quick. Okay. And so, you just got to understand that the world is not going to go back to the way that it was. It's just
Hey,
not.
I don't mean to interrupt you. You got to flip your camera there, buddy.
Again?
Yep. There you go. You're good.
Is it good?
You're good.
Okay. I look weird again on mine. Fantastic. All right. So again, what you got to understand here is it's not going to go back to the way that it was. Some things might, but you got to be pioneering. You need to be innovating for innovation's sake. Okay, guys, listen, if you wait to innovate until it's required, you by definition are too late. You need to be innovating for innovation's sake. Okay. And that allows you to be primed for opportunities, because it's like, people who were working on the railroads. That was the greatest deal in the world in the 1850s and 60s and 70s, right? I mean, there was major money there. Everybody who touched that got wealthy. But what's working on the railroads today going to do for you? And so we've got to be recognizing opportunity. We've got to be creating opportunity. We've got to be acting on opportunity. Here's my first disclaimer. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. The number one way I see entrepreneurs get crushed, okay, is they start chasing things that are outside of their lane, okay? So we're not talking about changing businesses. We're not talking about changing models. We're not talking about any of that. Is there opportunity outside of what you're doing? Yes, no matter what it is that you're doing. There's opportunity outside of what I'm doing, okay? Yes, there's opportunity outside of that. What the real greats do is they learn to pioneer synergetic opportunity, right? So they pioneer, they innovate, they invent within the sphere of their current expertise, their current thing. So understand that you need to be staying in your lane. This is not, Pruck said there's an opportunity everywhere, so let me start looking. I'm going to look high, I'm going to look low. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about dialing in to recognize, create, and act on opportunity within your niche, okay? And so let's talk about recognizing opportunity. Recognizing opportunity starts with the awareness that opportunity is everywhere and is extremely prevalent during times of shakeup and uncertainty. So again, if I asked you, how many blue cars did you see today? You'd probably tell me, I have no idea. If I told you there was $1 million attached to one of their license plates, you just need to record the numbers you see, it will go by you. It's coming for sure. And if you catch that, you're getting $1 million. You would become acutely aware immediately of every blue car anywhere around you, right? So blue cars have always been there. They will always be there, but they don't mean much to you when you do not have a purpose for them. When you do have a purpose for them, they're everywhere. And that's kind of how opportunity is. Most people are not looking for opportunity, which is why they don't find it, okay? You've got to be aware that you get what you're looking for, okay? So let's talk about being able to recognize them in your niche, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of questions that will help you to anticipate opportunity and put yourself at the right place at the right time, and to really take massive, massive quantum leaps forward and to grow when everybody else is struggling. Listen, in my main business, we've tripled and quadrupled our meeting attendances in the last week and a half because we were innovating before we had to. And so when we had to, we were not behind the curve, right? So what do people need? What are people going to need in your line of expertise, right? Are you in digital marketing? What is the next thing people are going to need? Okay. And it's learning how to fill that need. Okay. Learning how to recognize what's happening and what needs are going to be created. Maybe they didn't exist before, but they're going to exist in the future, or they're being created now. So what do people need? Okay. And if we're always looking to fill a need, we will by default come across fantastic opportunities. Okay. What would you want as a consumer? If you are a consumer of your product, your service, your business right now, in today's challenging times, what would you need that you didn't need before? What would make it easier to do business with you than it was before that maybe was not required? Okay. What is something that has been eliminated that you need to recreate another medium to get to? Okay. So when you begin to think like this, you raise your awareness to everything around you, okay, to everything around you, and you become aware of things that you might not have been aware of before. Okay, so recognizing opportunities is very, very much about being aware of what's going on around you and learning how to anticipate the punch, which really goes into the creating of opportunity, okay? Great leaders are always thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead, okay? So followers are reacting, okay? Mediocre leaders are participating. Great leaders are innovating and anticipating. They're not participating, they're anticipating, right? What's coming? What's going to happen? Okay, so stop and think about, again, kind of what's going on here. And you can look at a, domino effect, right? So, all right, a bunch of businesses close. Well, what are people going to need? Well, they're going to need access to the things that they need, even though businesses are closed or they're forced to stay home. Okay, so if you are like let's talk about Shipt. Okay, so Shipt was a luxury, right, where people would go grocery shop for you, they upcharge you. And we've been using Shipt for a year and a half, whatever, and we pay a little extra to save us a bunch of time. Okay, but Shipt just announced they're hiring a gazillion more workers because if you are in a shelter in place, or if there were more restrictions, everybody would need that. Online order and get delivered. Any form of delivery would be needed, right? Okay, whether it's delivering food or delivering packages or any number of things. Credit would be needed, okay, because credit's going to shut down when people stop paying their bills, right? Okay, so you could look at, and that's just like really obvious on the top stuff, right? Okay, so what about if you were creating software, where people could see Shipt versus shop versus this, that, and the other thing. I mean, there's just so many different things people will need, and learning how to anticipate the punch. Okay, Wayne Gretzky said this. He said, most people skate to where the puck is. I skate to where the puck is going. Okay, so what are people going to need? People are going to need work from home income. They're going to need online income. People are going to need to be able to market through their own distribution channels. People are going to need to be able to create and distribute something of value. People who can help those people produce that. Let me give you an example, okay? I built a landing page for one of my businesses because I want to start driving traffic to it online. I built a landing page to that. I posted that out. I had a bunch of people say, hey, who made that for you? How did it happen? So what I said is I called the guy who made it and said, hey, listen, let's do a partnership. And I'll partner with you on this deal. right? Because I see a need. I see people needing to be able to get online and have somebody find their link, find their video, Google them, and direct them to a landing page that can do some data capture. I don't know anything about that, but I see the opportunity, right? Does that make sense? And so that works really well in one of my businesses. And so what are people going to need that they don't need now? When are they going to need it? How can you fill that need in a different way? How can you fill that need in a different way, right? People are going to need community. How could you fill that need in a different way, right? Stop and think about that for a second. Everybody's shut in. People need community. Why not innovate and take your business and other business people in that realm and start an online community for those people? Why not take your consumers and start an online community for consumers or target consumers? Why not create that? People are going to need that in the coming weeks and months. That's for sure. Okay, so the first people that go there and swipe up all that real estate in that area are going to do well. Let me give you a couple examples of this sort of innovation from the past. Okay, so we talked about 08, 09, the mortgage crisis, right? So housing values fell by 50%, stock market fell by 48%, unemployment was high, credit shut off. Nobody's lending money. You can't buy a house. You could if you had enough money, but nobody's really buying anything because nobody's selling because it's all underwater, right? Foreclosures are crazy. Nobody's lending any money. Okay, so you really can't refi if you're a mortgage guy. You're not doing a lot of new purchase. And so what a lot of guys did is they thought, well, what are people going to need? If people can't buy the house, if they can't sell the house, if their adjustable rate mortgages are up but they can't get out of them, people are going to be losing their houses right and left. So people are going to need a couple of things: places to rent, okay, and they're going to need the ability to negotiate with lenders. And so the idea of mortgage modification became really prevalent in 2008, 2009. It was mostly mortgage people who said, the world has shifted. We can't sell mortgages now like we used to, but our mortgage clients, the people we've sold to before, they're now in need of this other service. And because we have experience working with the banks and knowing the loan processes, we could do this easier and faster for them than they could do it on their own. And most of them don't even know about this. And so people went into this mortgage modification business, and there were people that made enormous amounts of money helping people renegotiate their loans. A year before, it never even existed. Right now, not a big deal, but that was what happened, okay? Let me give you another example. I have a friend who owns a title company, right, in the mortgage and real estate industry. And what he did, right, when that crisis stopped, nobody was doing transactions anymore, right? So his title business dries up. So he decides he's going to go and build a networking group for real estate professionals, mortgage people, realtors, home inspectors, right? Because nobody was out there doing it. Nobody was out there doing anything for these guys. And what happened was he ended up building this network. It now runs its own standalone business. But this guy gets so much title business because where does his title business come from? Real estate agents, mortgage people, right? So he went out in a time when everybody was pulling back and leading that business. And he went out and scooped up all the relationships out there and built an entity that provided value. Okay, so let me give you a couple of things here, okay? You understand that you need to be providing value first, monetize the opportunity second. Value first, monetize the opportunity second. So he saw a need, he saw some future value, he went and built it. Today, this guy gets so much business. He's got probably 1,000 people in a dozen chapters of that group. And all those people he's in front of all the time. And he built value for them. They connect with each other. He has speakers come in and talk. But when they do title business, guess where that business goes? He's just sucking it up right and left, right? And it's easy and it's cheap. It's free. And then he's got this other business that he started that he now monetizes. You got to pay to be a part of the group now, et cetera. So that business is monetizing and it's feeding his other business. So that's what we're talking about, staying in your lane, right? So he didn't go and start a widget company. He said, all right, where is the opportunity in the realm of my current business that allows me to grow my current business and build a feeder into that. Okay, so everybody following that? So when we're creating that, we've got to be anticipating what are people going to need, what's going to change, how do we deliver faster, better, and a better consumer experience, okay? And then start working on that, okay? Start working on that. So part 3 of recognizing opportunities, you got to act, okay? There's a million good ideas out there, but you just got to act. So write this down. Do something, okay? Now listen, some of you might say, well, I don't have an idea right now. It's all right. You don't need to have an idea right now. You need to be aware that there will be ideas out there for you to grow your business in a way you haven't thought of before, in a method that might seem unconventional, using a medium you never thought to use or were never required to use. This is what I'm talking about, right? It may not be a big shift. It might be a small change to what you're already doing that creates a big outcome, but you're not going to find it if you're not looking for it. Other people will find it. Let me give you an example again. So, Netflix, right, wants to be sold to Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster doesn't think there's a future in online streaming. They say no. And now Netflix is the biggest online streaming deal in the world, and Blockbuster doesn't even exist. Now, how much of an innovation would it really have been for Blockbuster, who sells what? Movie rentals, to stop and think, maybe it would be good for us to be able to just give people movies in their home where they don't need to come in to see us, because that would save them time. And they could have every movie so they don't have to worry about it being checked out. And it would save us money. We wouldn't have to have locations, money on inventory. We wouldn't have to have all these videos. It would save us money on advertisement. It would save us money on staff. Like in hindsight, that was like a duh, right? That was the people at Blockbuster should have been thinking about, how do we keep our core business intact, but what's coming around the corner to be able to deliver that core business in a different way. In hindsight, that should have been a no-brainer. And the opportunity even found them, and they were so caught up in how they did it that they couldn't see how it would be done in the future. And that's what recognizing opportunity is about. Guys, we got to be aware. Tomorrow, be aware. Look around. What are you struggling with that you didn't used to struggle with? There's an answer in there somewhere. Okay, what is a way that you could, increase convenience, speed, customer engagement, or satisfaction, or all of it that you're not doing right now that you could be doing right now? What is that? What is a different medium on which you could provide your service that you're not providing it right now? Okay, and then we got to act. We got to do something. So when you have that idea, you need to start where you are with what you have. Understand that you're never going to have everything you need. It's never going to be totally right. Okay, let me give you another example. This 14-day challenge, I saw an opportunity. What was the opportunity? The opportunity I saw is there's going to be a lot of chaos, and people are going to need leadership and direction and focus more now than they ever have. That was the opportunity. I started with what I had. I said, all right, what do I have? I have the ability to get the word out there, and I have some tech people that can help me figure out how to do it. And so we started where we were with what we had. We just got it operational, and we learned as we went. You need to pivot, adapt, and learn, but you need to start and learn as you go, okay? It's called Scrum. Scrum is the idea that you produce an app as is, put it out there, and just get it running. And the market will feed back to you what's good and what's bad, both that you might have anticipated and not anticipated. And while that one's out there running, you continue improving, and then you release an update, and then you release an update, and then you release an update. Imagine if they had not released the iPhone until the current operating system that we have now became available. Apple wouldn't exist like they do now. The technology, the world would be totally different. They didn't. They came out with an iPod, then they came out with an iPod with a screen, then they came out with an iPhone, and then so on and so forth, right? What were they doing? They were rushing the market with a good idea, testing its viability, and then improving as they go. So a couple of tidbits here. Okay, when you're learning to recognize opportunity, it's about giving value. It will always be creating value. Anything that you think is an opportunity that does not create value in a new, better, and more efficient way is not going to be viable, okay? Second thing I want to help you with is stay in low and no cost lanes when you're starting to do this. How much did it start my title? How much did it cost my title buddy to start his real estate mastermind group? None, right? You don't need to be investing a lot of money or investing a lot of time. Again, this is ancillary. It's existing as part of your existing business. It's just a way to do it better or faster or different than you've done it so far. So you're not looking to get involved in stuff that costs a lot of money. You're not looking to get involved in things that cost a lot of time. It's going to be simpler than you think. It's going to be simpler than you think, okay? So start small scale before you go large scale, okay? Again, this is start where you are, work with what you have. I meet so many people that have $100 million visions that they forget to make $1 million along the way, right? They're so caught up in the clouds that they don't start with what they have. They're trying to get it perfect and right instead of trying to get it out there and learn, right? Again, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, guys. Do not think, well, I'm going to start this business over here that has nothing to do with your current business. There might be an opportunity there, but you're not going to be able to chase both chickens, okay? You need to look for opportunity that is present within your current opportunity. That's where the biggest bang for your buck and the biggest growth is going to come from. Stay in your lane. And a couple more things, okay? Teach only after you have data. This is, again, another thing I see all the time that just bothers the heck out of me is somebody thinks they got this new way, this new process, everything's going to be great, and they're telling everybody about it, and they don't know enough. They don't know what they don't know, and they don't know enough to look at, well, that change might have been good here, but it caused things down the line to not be so good. So what I always try to do whenever I see an opportunity to innovate or to grow, I start at small scale. I start in a piece of an organization or in a piece of a business, and then I look for its viability. Can I run this on a small scale viably? If you cannot, you're not going to run it on a big scale viably. All you're going to do is lose time and money, right? It's got to work small scale first, and then you scale it up. And that includes teaching other people what you're doing. Everybody wants to espouse their great ideas, but folks, listen, there's a million great ideas. Executing on them is really where the money is, right? And so let's start small scale, start limited scope, control the variables, okay, and teach people what you're doing only after you have data that it does work and you understand the outcomes of it. Okay, guys, so listen, here's our homework, our 14-day challenge. I want you tomorrow to start keeping an opportunity log, a pen and paper, your notes on your phone, call it opportunity log. And I want you to begin to jot down ideas as they come to you, as you are made aware of something, and just write down ideas. This could be a good idea. This could be a good idea. There's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity there. Okay. And just begin to create a log. And we're not going to act on all of them, but sooner or later, you're going to come across one and you know you're supposed to start it. It's ancillary to your business. It helps your current business, whatever that business is. And you drive that thing, right? You drive that thing and you take advantage of the opportunities that other people aren't looking for. And they're prevalent. They're everywhere. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow with your opportunity log. And let's start being aware of everything we got going on around us. All right, guys, thank you.